Hi, this is Chris again with Nightfall Audiobooks. I am finally getting around to doing the second book in the Cataluna Chronicles. This one is called The Dark Secret. I own this trilogy as a set of books, so I will be reading it to you from the page because I haven't opened this in quite some time. I always get confused with this trilogy on which one's my favorite, and I always thought it was book 2, but it's not. It's book 3. Book 3 has some time travel involved. Book 2 is about two sisters that get the Cataluna to be like their first car, and things go awry. So this will be very fun to read. Man, this is just bringing back tons and tons of memories looking at this book. Some metadata about this series. I began recording the first book. It was the end of April in 2022, and it does not air until right alongside Christmas in 2024. That's because the first book happens to be 5 episodes long, and scheduling a 5-week book is difficult for me. Scheduling a 6 or 7 week book is a lot easier, but 5 weeks is really, really short. And where do I put it? I found myself at the end of 2024 with about 5 weeks to go, and I said, you know what? I've been sitting on Cataluna for over a year. Let's finally release it. And part of my trepidation was, when I launched the channel, I did 99 Fear Street, and I did that trilogy back to back to back, and I almost burned myself out on the entire project, because I had all this material to record and edit and stick together and release all at once. And I told myself the next time I do a trilogy, read them when you feel like it. Don't feel obligated to release the subsequent books just because you have to do them. Especially with the Cataluna Chronicles. I know I've said this about the other trilogies, but I think this is my favorite R.L. Stine trilogy. So let's get started. I am very, very eager to pick this up after about 20 years hiatus reading this book. What should I do next? I don't know. Please give me suggestions. Write me an email, nightfallaudiobooks@gmail.com. I am also on YouTube at Nightfall Audiobooks. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell whoever you think would like to listen to me tell them tales from R.L. Stine. So thank you very much for listening, and let's get started. Welcome to a Nightfall Audiobooks production of The Cataluna Chronicles, Book 2, The Dark Secret by R.L. Stine. Prologue. Cataluna. My own car, Kurt Masters thought. Yes! Long and sleek, gleaming white, all graceful curves and raw power. Kurt still couldn't believe his parents had given him a car for his 17th birthday. He'd been expecting the usual, some CDs, some clothes, maybe a laptop computer to bring with him to college next year. He ran his hand along the front fender. Kurt could almost hear the deep thrum of the engine as the car responded to his every command. Soon, he told himself, soon I'll be behind that wheel. But first, he needed to fix the oil leak. His dad and mom had surprised him with a white sports car that morning. They noticed the leak then. No problem, he told his father. Probably the oil plug needs tightening. Kurt knew cars. He turned toward the toolbox. A smudge on a Cataluna's fender caught his eye. Funny, I didn't notice that before, he muttered. He licked his finger and ran it across a small red mark. As he rubbed, the mark grew brighter and more distinct. Not a smudge, a perfect crescent moon. Cataluna, he whispered. Luna, moon. Yes, that's it. The car displayed its signature right there on the fender. Kurt reached for the socket wrench, then changed his mind. A crescent wrench, he told himself, grinning. That's the kind to use on a car with a crescent moon. Kurt lay down on the wooden mechanic's cradle and rolled himself under the chassis. He found the oil pan and hung a lamp beside it. That's strange, he thought. The plug at the bottom of the pan appeared perfectly clean, the entire chassis spotless. He moved back and forth, searching for the leak. Not a grease mark anywhere, even though his father had bought the car used. It must be the oil plug. He rolled back into position and reached for it. Ow! He jerked his finger away. Why is it hot? He asked himself. The car hadn't been driven since the night before. His father had sneaked it into the garage so that Kurt wouldn't see it until the next day, his 17th birthday. Kurt tightened the crescent wrench around the plug. Someone laughed, low and teasing. A girl. Mom? He called. No, she's at work, he reminded himself. He glanced at the garage door. Closed. The laughter grew louder, from inside the car. From right above him. Could the radio be on? He wondered. Maybe something's wrong with the electrical system. He'd check it out as soon as he tightened this plug. The wrench slipped off. He started to reposition it, then jerked back his hand. No way. He could have sworn the plug had turned. On its own. The strange laughter sounded closer. The car began to rock. Kurt shoved the cradle back. The wheels jammed. The car rocked harder, the tires lifting off the ground and slamming back down. Kurt flung himself off the cradle. Above him, the plug began to turn. The laughter grew louder, cruel laughter, frightening. Kurt struggled to get out from under the rocking car. The plug turned again. Kurt let out a shriek. A boiling stream of oil shot down into his left eye. The black liquid bubbled in his eye socket. His body jerked and twitched as the scorching liquid sprayed over his face, into his nose, into his mouth, scalding him, his tongue, his whole mouth, until it felt as if his head were on fire, burning, burning, the flesh melting from his skull. Kurt's legs twitched a final time, and then lay still. The car stood motionless in the middle of the garage. The only movement, the steaming, bubbling oil spreading around Kurt's body. A river of blood flowed out from under the car. It ran alongside the oil, forming a red crescent moon. On his 17th birthday, Kurt Masters became one of the many victims of the evil Cataluna, but not the first. That honor belongs to me, William Parker. I first set my eyes upon the strange white car not on the streets of Shadyside, nor even in the 20th century. No, I first gazed upon the Cataluna 3 centuries before, in the small New England colony of West Hampshire. The colony had fallen on hard times. The crops withered in the fields, and animals lay dying everywhere. We in the colony knew only one way to bring her bad luck to an end, destroy the cause. Catherine Hatchett, a girl born under a bad moon. But no ordinary girl. Her mother had been born under the same bad moon. She taught her daughter the dark and secret arts. When we came for Catherine and dragged her to the hanging tree, she transformed herself into a rat small enough to escape the noose. Then she transformed into a sleek white horse and raced away, but only after murdering my brother and my father. I swore I would hunt her down and have my revenge. Part 1. West Hampshire Colony, 1698. Chapter 1. A cold autumn wind spread across the burned-out field, rattling the charred stalks of corn. The odor of smoke hung in the air, the odor of death. The only sign of life, the distant hoot of an owl. William Parker pulled back the hood of his cloak and grasped a handful of ash. Crushing it in his fist, he watched as it sifted through his fingers and blew away on the wind. "Catherine," he muttered, raising his eyes toward the sliver of moon in the early evening sky. "This is your handiwork, your art. First my brother Joseph, and then my father. How many others have you killed by now? How many more must die?" William noticed a dark form at the edge of the field. His skin turned cold. Fighting back the fear, he cautiously approached. The smell of death grew stronger. Yes, Catherine is near, he thought. Very near. William heard a low cry. He reached for the long-bladed knife at his belt and rushed forward. A cow lay on its side, moaning in pain. Claw marks slashed its neck and sides. Its belly had been torn open. Glistening pink intestines spilled from the jagged wound. A shudder ripped through the creature, then it lay still. An animal did this, but no ordinary one, William knew. Ordinary animals killed for food. There had been no purpose to this killing, except for death itself. "I shall find you, Catherine of the Moon, Cataluna," William declared, turning from the ugly scene. Catherine could not have traveled far since she attacked the poor creature, William thought. Perhaps he could find settlers nearby. Perhaps they would know of the girl, the creature he hunted. Even if they did not, it would be good to talk to other people. He had been alone too long. William gazed across the fields. Where would I build a farmhouse on this land? He asked himself. There, at the base of the mountains, he decided, the house would be sheltered from the wind and bathed by sunlight. "Exactly right," William whispered when he spotted a ramshackle barn. As he drew closer, a house came into view, shabby, but some clothes hung on a line and an axe protruded from the upright log. A wagon stood out front. William felt a surge of excitement at discovering these signs of life, normal, everyday life. He had been traveling for so long, across so many miles of wilderness, and now he had found people living in the shadow of the mountains. He imagined sitting before a warm fireplace, sharing a cup of tea, being greeted by a friendly face. He imagined forgetting about his quest, if even for a few days, a few hours. William hurried to the front door. He knocked. No answer. He unlatched the door. It swung open. "Hello," he called in. William waited for his eyes to grow accustomed to the dim room. He could make out shapes on the floor, furniture no doubt. He wondered if there might be a lamp on one of the tables. Something cold wrapped itself around William's ankle, cold and smooth. William tried to jerk his foot away. He fell face down on the hard floor. He lifted his head and uttered a shrill scream. Two blank eyes stared at him. No, not eyes. Eye sockets. A skull lay before him, a human skull. Strips of skin still clinging to it, small white maggots feasting on the putrid flesh. William stared around frantically. The shapes on the floor were not furniture. Not furniture. They were corpses. All corpses. The flesh rotting away from the bones. The cold, smooth thing on William's ankle moved, began to slither up his leg. Chapter 2. William stared down at his leg. "No!" he shrieked. A huge black snake coiled around his thigh, enormous head swaying from side to side, long razor-sharp fangs gleaming. William kicked his leg violently. The snake's coils squeezed harder, tighter. Its powerful jaws lay too close to William's knife. He needed another weapon. William groped the floor, frantically searching for something he could use to defend himself. Anything! The snake hissed, prepared to strike. William's fingers brushed something slick and hard, a human leg bone, chunks of rotting flesh hanging from it. Gritting his teeth, William yanked the leg bone from the corpse. He raised it high over his head, smashed it down on the black serpent with all his might. The creature reared back, loosening its grip. Its forked tongue darted between sharp fangs glistening with venom, its dark, beady eyes fixed on William with an evil glare. William jabbed at the snake with the bone. The creature caught the bone between its jaws, snapped it like a twig. The snake lunged at William's throat. William grabbed it below the head. He shoved his thumbs deep into the cold flesh. The writhing snake uncoiled itself from his leg. It pushed itself down on him, its fangs inches from his throat. William squeezed harder, his fingers cramped. "Die!" he grunted. "Die!" The creature hissed. Its tail whipped back and forth. It jerked once, twice, and then it hung limp from William's hands. Again and again William shook the creature. It did not move. He hurled it to the floor. Breathing hard, William reached for his knife. He wanted to cut off the serpent's head. William's hand trembled as he pulled the knife from its sheath. A strangled hiss sliced through the room. The snake clamped its jaws around his hand, buried its fangs deep in William's skin. Cold swept up William's arm. His fingers grew numb. The knife clattered from his grasp. He felt the venom spreading through him as he fell onto his side. The serpent slinked away. It slithered through the rib cage of the skeleton and curled up on the floor. William's vision blurred, grew cloudy. He struggled to keep the snake in sight. The serpent coiled into a ball. Legs and razor claws popped out from its belly. Hard scales melted into sleek black fur. Before William's eyes, the snake became a cat. The cat arched its back and purred. The purr became a throaty growl. It stared at William with cold eyes, the eyes of Catherine of the Moon. The cat hunched low, motionless, eyeing its prey. Its fangs dripped blood, William's blood. William tried to move, too numb, too slow. He heard a hiss. The creature sprang through the air, claws out, aimed at his eyes. Chapter 3. William forced his hands up to cover his face. He waited for the pain of claws slashing across his flesh. He remembered Catherine Hatchett taking the form of a cat and blinding his brother Joseph, digging out Joseph's eyeballs with her claws. William heard a thump. The creature had leaped over him. The cat's growl became a piercing laugh, the laughter of a girl. "I have won, William Parker. I have won." William rolled over to face her. He blinked his eyes. The blurred image took the shadowy form of a girl he recognized. "You have tasted my venom," Catherine Hatchett declared. She folded her arms across her chest. "Now you shall die." William tried to speak. His throat felt dry and tight, each breath a struggle. his lungs burning from the snake poison. "You and your friends used to laugh at me. You called me Bad Moon Catherine, but now who was the one born under a bad moon?" I, he stammered, trying to keep his head from dropping to the floor. "Save your words for someone who cares," she exclaimed, moving toward him, her body beginning to transform. "Save them for your father and brother. Maybe they will listen when you join them in death." William could barely keep his eyes open. Catherine's cat fur brushed his cheek, a throaty purr close beside his ear. He tried to speak, but no words would come. "Goodbye, William. Sleep forever." The cat faded silently into the night. The room turned colder, blacker. William felt the venom pulsing through him, spreading through his body. He fought the urge to sleep. "I will not die," he vowed to himself. "You will not escape me so easily, Cataluna. I will not, I cannot die. I swear that I will hunt you down, and the evil you have brought to others will be the evil that destroys you." His mind swirled, his thoughts foggy and unclear. His body grew lighter, seemed to lift off the floor. He tried to grab something, anything, but his hands would not respond. William was floating now, flying, fading into the night. He forced open his eyelids. "No," he raged. "It is only magic, Catherine's magic. I will not be killed by magic." William concentrated on taking small, steady breaths. "Yes, I will survive. I will overcome her dark magic and survive. I will not die," he sputtered, his lips able to move again. He pushed himself onto his knees, shook his head to clear it. His chest heaved, his breath painful, the air burning his lungs. William stared up at the ceiling, noticed a spider weaving its web. He gazed at the spider and thought of Catherine, the cat of the moon. "You will not escape me so easily," he whispered. William forced himself to his feet. His legs trembled, but he did not fall. "I will hunt you down," William vowed. "Your evil will not go unpunished." William's voice grew louder, stronger. He raised his fist into the air. "I will destroy you, Cataluna." Part 2. Shadyside, 1995. Chapter 4. Justin Norris crammed 2 chocolate chip cookies into his mouth. He chewed loudly. Crumbs fell over his flannel shirt. "Very attractive," Lauren Patterson commented. She glanced over at her sister Regina. "You go out in public with this guy?" "Yes, but I keep him on a leash, and he's a very good boy, aren't you, Justin?" Regina patted her boyfriend on the head like a dog. Her bright pink nail polish gleamed against his dark blonde hair. Justin grinned and panted like a dog. He jumped off the couch and crouched down on all fours. "Woof!" He grabbed one of Regina's clogs in his teeth and shook it. She swatted him on the nose. "Bad dog!" Justin crawled over to Lauren and rolled onto his back, arms and legs up in the air. He gave a pathetic little whimper, stared at Lauren with his dark green eyes. Regina snorted. "He wants you to scratch his belly, Lauren? The doggy likes you," she told her stepsister. "Oh, gross," Lauren groaned. Lauren felt her face grow hot. She never knew quite how to handle Justin's teasing. "You do it, Regina. You're his girlfriend," Lauren added quickly. Regina held up her hands. "I'm not ruining my manicure." Justin gave Lauren another pitiful glance. He whined like a puppy. "Is Justin flirting with me?" Lauren wondered. "No way," she told herself immediately. "He is Regina's boyfriend. He wouldn't flirt with me in front of her. Besides, what guy would flirt with me with Regina around? She's a zillion times prettier. I'm so ordinary looking. Ordinary brown hair, ordinary brown eyes, ordinary everything." Regina and Lauren's dog Spot trotted over and licked Justin's face. Justin rolled over and climbed back on all fours. "There's a new dog on the block," he called to Spot. "You're dead meat. I'm Hulk Hound Dog, champion dog wrestler." Spot wagged his tail. Regina and Lauren glanced at each other and started to giggle. "You want a piece of me, Spot? Well, come and get it. It's supper time." Justin grabbed Spot and playfully pinned him to the floor. "He's down for the count. It doesn't look good, folks." Justin grabbed Spot's back legs. He pulled out a rubber band from his pocket and tied the dog's back paws together. Spot yelped in protest. "But wait," Justin cried. "He's up again." Spot dragged himself across the floor, his back legs useless. The dog began to whimper. "He's hurt, but he's not going to let Hulk—" "Stop it," Regina yelled. "Justin, you always go too far." Lauren ran over to the dog. She gently pulled the rubber band off Spot's legs. Very cool, Justin, Lauren said sarcastically. I'm so impressed. You can win a fight with a 25-pound dog. She tenderly rubbed Spot's head. Hey, Justin muttered. We were playing. He's not hurt. No thanks to you, Lauren snapped. Come on, Spot. She strode out of the living room and into the kitchen. Lauren grabbed a Coke from the refrigerator. What does Regina see in that guy? She asked herself. Okay, he's cute, in a grungy Christian Slater kind of way, but he has a sick sense of humor, and he's gotten kicked out of school more than once. She popped the top off the Coke can and gulped down a long swallow. Regina could have her pick of guys, Lauren thought, with her long curly red hair, great bod, and the clothes to show it off. Lauren's stepsister was gorgeous, and knew it. Lauren had to fight Regina for bathroom time every morning. Regina spent hours on her hair and makeup. She had photos of models taped up all over the mirror to give her ideas. Regina constantly nagged Lauren to spend more time on her makeup and clothes. She offered to loan Lauren any of her Betsy Johnson mini dresses, but Lauren preferred her own jeans and sneakers. Almost time for Mom to arrive home, Lauren realized. She tugged at her brown bangs, a nervous habit. Regina better get Justin out of here. Justin made the top 10 list of things that drove their mother crazy. Lauren wandered back into the living room. She found Justin and Regina in a major lip lock. Justin's hands caught in Regina's red hair. Lauren stared at the floor. She always felt embarrassed when she walked in on Justin and Regina kissing. Her sister didn't bother to open her eyes. What? She mumbled against Justin's lips. You have about 15 minutes to Mom, and counting, Lauren replied. Regina and Justin broke their kiss. Justin had Regina's strawberry sensation lipstick smeared on his mouth. Better get going, Justin, Lauren advised. A car door slammed. She's early, Regina cried. She grabbed Justin's arm and started hauling him to the back door. Out, out, out! Wait, my backpack, Justin protested. The key turned in the lock of the front door. Lauren lunged for the backpack. The front door swung open. The back door closed with a click. Lauren, I'm so glad you're home. Mrs. Patterson stood in the doorway smiling at her. Where's Regina? Lauren eased the backpack behind her. She started to reply when the kitchen door opened and Regina sauntered in. Hi, Mom, she called casually. She plopped down on the sofa, straightened one of her thigh-high socks. What's that? Mrs. Patterson asked. She motioned at the backpack, not quite hidden behind Lauren's back. Regina stared at Lauren pleadingly. Oh, this? Lauren lifted it in front of her and clutched it in her arms. It's Sue's. She stopped by after school and forgot it. She heard Regina's sigh of relief. I'll take it to her house later. Why not drive it over there now? Lauren glanced at her stepsister. I've got homework to do. Forget your homework. Go out for a drive, both of you. Mom telling her to forget homework? Lauren couldn't believe it. Sounds fun, Regina replied. Are you coming, Lauren? She asked from the open front door. Sure. Lauren slung the backpack over her shoulder. Aren't you girls forgetting something? Mrs. Patterson asked. The car keys? I've got mine. Regina jingled her key ring. Not this one. Mrs. Patterson held out a key. Lauren stared at it. Then she stared at Regina. You didn't, Lauren gasped. Your father and I always said that when you both turned 16. Yes, Regina cried. She rushed forward and snatched the key. Lauren gazed at the key as Regina turned it over and over in her hand. Shining mother of pearl circled the top. We never believed you were serious. Thought you'd be more interested in the car than the key. It's here? Lauren yelped. In the driveway. Regina dashed through the doorway, Lauren close on her heels. They couldn't see the driveway until they circled the hedge alongside the garage. It's, Regina began. Unbelievable, Lauren blurted out. She pushed past Regina and cautiously approached. Long and low and sleek, as white as the moon, the most incredible sports car Lauren had ever seen, had ever imagined. I know what you're thinking, Mrs. Patterson told them, placing an arm around each of her daughters. Robert and I said you couldn't have a sports car, but when we found it, I guess we both lost our heads. It's perfect, Lauren declared, beaming at her mother. It's a Cataluna, Mrs. Patterson told them. I've never heard of it, Regina replied. Mrs. Patterson pointed to a small red mark on the right front fender in the shape of a crescent moon. The Cataluna signature, she explained. I love it, Regina cried. Me too, Lauren breathed. Are you sure? You don't mind that we picked it without you?" In reply, the girls threw their arms around her and kissed her cheeks. They raced over to the car. Regina still held the key, so she grabbed the driver's seat. Lauren jumped into the passenger's side and rolled down her window. Mrs. Patterson leaned in. "Keep away from the downtown traffic until you get a feel for how she handles. And be careful shifting gears. And wear your seatbelts." "Go on," Lauren prodded her sister. Regina turned the key. The engine responded instantly, settling into a low, steady hum. "Here we go," Regina exclaimed. She backed slowly down the driveway, eased out onto Fear Street. Lauren leaned against the red leather seat. She barely heard her mother's final words of caution. She listened to the throaty purr of the engine, smelled the supple leather, felt the wind against her face. Regina turned left onto Mill Road, left again onto Hawthorne Drive. Lauren closed her eyes. She imagined them cruising down a road to nowhere, to somewhere, to anywhere but Shadyside. The wind whipped Lauren's hair. The engine roared as Regina shifted gears. Lauren opened her eyes. Too fast, she thought. Way too fast. She glanced over at the speedometer. 45, 50, 55. "Regina, better slow down," Lauren said. They sped down a residential street. Cars parked along the curb, kids and bikes in the yards. "Regina," she repeated, "slow down." Her stepsister didn't seem to hear her. Regina stared straight ahead, her fingers white as she clenched the wheel. "What's your problem? Slow down," Lauren cried. "Slow down! Don't you hear me?" Something moved in the corner of Lauren's vision. She gaped into the windshield. Up ahead, a girl on rollerblades skated into the street, into the path of the Cataluna. "Regina, stop!" Lauren shrieked.